Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Amber.
I'm Alora, and this is Oates.
And today, again, a repeat guest from last week. We have Tony from Inside the Hoosier Mind.
Hi, appreciate you guys having me back. I did just well enough to make you guys both laugh that you're like, okay, we got to at least bring you back for a little bit of comedic relief, if anything.
Oh, you always make us laugh.
Sorry.
I try.
Yeah, it does get a little loud. Alora's got ear problems.
I'm doing the wrong one.
I don't know.
Keep talking.
Hello. That's mine. Yeah, she's trying to.
I'm moving mine and doing.
Yeah.
Oh, is mine 3?
Maybe, I don't know.
Tony, say something.
Can you hear me now? And I see Joy's here. Joy, I'm happy that you're here. And she gets to see me for the whole episode if she wants to.
She's glad that you're here.
Hello, Kathleen and Joy and Sam. And I don't know if anybody else jumped in, but thank you for joining us. Last week we had Tony and we just kind of BS'd our way through the stream.
I think it went well.
I think it did too. I think we had a really good time.
Especially for no plans.
Yeah, exactly. So, but today we're going to go back to the topic that we were originally going to talk about last week, and that is baptism for the dead. And I had heard about it, but I didn't really know much about it because when I was in college, I took a bunch of courses on different faiths and all that stuff. So I remember some things, but there's only one spot in the Bible where it even talks about baptizing the dead. And Paul says it. It's 1 Corinthians 15:29, I believe. And it basically just alludes to a practice that was happening in the Corinthian church, but he doesn't elaborate on it. And so for the fact that the Mormon church built a whole doctrine around something that wasn't even elaborated on or anything like that, I find fascinating. And unfortunately, there's a lot of churches that do that. They take a specific text out of the Bible or verse or whatever and build something around it that was never meant to be. And I grew up in Baptist church, and now I go to a non-denominational Christian church. And so everything we do is in the public. When you get baptized, it's a public profession in front of everybody, and anybody can walk in those doors and see what's going on. So the fact that everything's so secret in the Mormon church just reinforces to me even more so after researching all of this, that it really does look like a cult. And, sometimes I'm a little afraid to put that label out there or whatever to offend people and things like that, because everybody has a right to believe whatever they want. But the stuff I'm seeing is just very odd.
Yeah, I worked with, I come to find out I worked with 2 Mormons. One was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and he was an infantryman. And I noticed that he wouldn't do caffeine. He also wouldn't cuss. And it's like, isn't that like your guys' whole reason for existing is like cursing and just being Marines and everything like that? Like, he was the exact opposite. Also, fun fact that is completely unrelated, he looked like Sid the Sloth. Like the eyes were just far, like he was just really buff, and he looked like Sid the Sloth. And I was like, I can't deal with you, man. But I didn't know that he was Mormon. And so come to find out, when I actually went to Utah for a work trip a couple of years ago, I met up with an old supervisor. I had a ton of respect for him. And I used to always know he wouldn't touch alcohol. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just a personal thing. Like, I have family members that they're really easily addicted to alcohol. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just doesn't. Like, no harm, no foul, no judgment. And then come to find out he's Mormon. But he was like a different Mormon than this one, because he has definitely dropped like the F-bomb and all of that. And I was like, okay. I was like, maybe he's like Mormon light, if there is such a thing. But while I was in Utah, like, I actually did see like a group of Mormons, because they all had like the shirts. They even had name tags, because I thought when we went into this mall that they worked there. And I was like, oh, you don't work there. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, it's a very interesting culture. Very interesting.
I have to say, if it looks like a cult, smells like a cult, tastes like a cult, Might be. I don't know. It doesn't mean that every single person that's in it is a bad person with, bad intentions, in my opinion. But, it doesn't mean that you're not going to operate in that way. So I feel like our guest of the week might have some opinions on that.
Yeah. And so we are going to bring up Culty Steph. And if you guys don't remember, Culty Steph actually went by another name, Mrs. Fancy Pants, in the Gypsy Rose community. So if you don't remember that, that's who she is.
She's like, don't bring up that.
No, but I just want everybody to be able to correlate who this is. So, hey, all the way that community has been going.
No, thank you.
Okay, so anyways, we're going to bring up Culty Steph, and by the way, the reason I brought her, I wanted to bring her on to talk about this is because I was listening to her talk on Jaden Jeff's podcast, Warren Jeff's son, and she was talking about this. So by the end of it, I was like, "What the freak is baptism of the dead? I want to know more." So without further ado.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hello, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for joining us. You're always fun.
Yeah.
I was really hoping everyone would forget that other name.
Okay, I won't say it. Next time I won't say it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know Laura was watching me backstage laughing.
I was like, ooh, I don't know if she. But hey, I mean,
Hey.
those things.
Yeah. Okay. So
So-
Stephanie, like I said, I saw you on Jaden's podcast.
Yes.
And by the way, I'm so proud of you for getting up there and doing that because that's a huge platform.
You did a great job too.
Thank you. Thank you. I was really nervous about it actually. But Jaden's awesome. He's so sweet.
Yeah. And I bet it's really hard for him having a dad like that and living with that stigma.
But even having a dad like that, I saw that he was like listening to some of the things that you were saying. He's like, oh, even with Warren Jeffs as my dad, I feel like the things I went through aren't even, they don't even hold a candle to
I
things.
know. Like when you shock the cult leader's son, like that's pretty intense, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, I came out of there like believing that the FLDS were definitely treated better than I was treated. So it was it's really interesting like to talk and compare the two religions because they're so close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so can you give us a background about your baptismal experience? And we'll go from there into the baptism of the dead. But like, how old were you when you officially joined the church, or how does that happen? And then the baptismal process.
Yeah. So when you're born, they have what's called a baby blessing, and that's when your name is put on the record. So you give the baby a name and a blessing. And that makes them like kind of a member. And then you get baptized when you're 8. So when you're 7, you start memorizing the articles of faith, and then you have to know a couple other things like to get baptized. And then at 8 years old, you make this massive decision that's supposed to last your entire life into eternity, and you get baptized. And so what it looks
8.
like, at 8.
Okay.
It's pretty intense, right? That's a lot of responsibility for an
emotionally
8-year-old. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
And
all figured out by 8.
well, and the fact that they have a set age is odd as well, because, you know, I come from a faith where you grow into that, you know, it's not something that,
Everyone has their personal relationship
Yeah.
or their theology or their faith by a certain, various ages. You know what I mean? Because that's just who you are as a
So
person.
they don't push baptism on a particular timeline.
no.
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 They say it's usually
Interesting.
they make it, and again, each each part is kind of different. I know like non-denominational and Protestant kind of mirror each other quite a bit. So
Yeah.
really, I always kind of joke it's like the hippie of Christianity.
Yeah.
It's very much more open. Like you kind of make your own pathway of how you want to accept religion, how you want to accept that in your heart, how you want to interpret it, and even how you want to express it. It can all be interpreted and done in like various different ways just through like that part of it. I do have a question, and it might be one that it's like, I don't want to say advanced, but you know, maybe
No, go for it.
I really don't know how to explain it without potentially coming off as rude. And I don't want to do
It's
that by any
okay.
stretch of the imagination.
You won't offend me.
But just from like what you were talking about, as far as like when you're a baby, and it's kind of a preview as far as like the baptism of the dead, like the amount of records that are kept by the church as a whole, as far as the records of everybody that has lived, like the different things that they go through to obtain that information. Like it seems like this, like it's such a structured religion of something that I don't think I've ever seen even other religions practice. Like it's almost like militant kind of in the way of like everybody has to have a name. Like your information has to be like shared and verified with other sources, so that way you can confirm that you are a part of this church. Like, do they kind of have a reason for that, or like a background as to where that was like established from?
I think it's really just a record keeping church because they're really huge into genealogy and tracking everything. So they want to know all the births, all the baptisms, the deaths, the marriages. They want to know everything and they track it very closely. So I think that's what it is. I mean, it could be for another reason.
Mhm.
I don't know.
The Mormons kind of run or have a big contribution to like ancestry.com and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right?
And family
Yeah.
Like they do a
search.
lot of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. They own Family Search.
I do find it very interesting that you guys are so adamant, or not you guys, you previously, but I'm sorry, he is no longer
Mormons, my
a Mormon now.
family.
Yeah, but that the Mormons are particularly caught up in record keeping and stuff because
Mhm.
you know, I've kind of been in a little bit of a sister wives watching era. I'm almost finished with it. I didn't watch it as it aired or whatever. And there's a lot of things I could say about that show. Oh my goodness. But something they're very adamant about is the fact that because when you're living polygamy, which I know is not something that all Mormons do, it's a very specific, well, there's actually a couple different subsects of Mormonism that do that. But anyway, but whenever they're living polygamy, they are very like, the government cannot know, you know, we don't put people's names on the birth certificate. They're very weird about home births and making sure that people can't really track what's going on. But then within their little community, they're like, we have this and this and that, and we track everything.
Well, and I got the assumption from my research that it's all in the advancement of the church by being able to then look at the records and baptize people when they're dead.
Yeah.
By proxy.
It could be that too. Yeah, it really could be. Yeah. So okay, with the baptism, that's when you do your first worthiness interview also.
Okay.
So
and what is that?
So the bishop, the child meets with the bishop in his office. So you're almost 8 and this is like a 40, 50-year-old man.
Mhm.
And you're in there and they ask you all these questions like, do you know your articles of faith? And you have to recite those. And then they ask you if you believe Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and you have to answer that. And then they ask you about chastity. Do you keep the law of chastity?
At 8?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when they start introducing that because you can't get baptized if you're sinning, right?
If at 8 you're not chaste,
Right.
then it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Right. But
Well,
the kids don't understand that.
Yeah, because I remember one of the videos I was watching about that. Another former Mormon was talking about how that interview comes in, and yeah, you're sitting there at 8 years old, and they're asking you like, "Hey, you know, have you practiced this?" And you're like,
They get into that
yes.
like at 12 and they start asking specific questions like deeper than do you keep the law of chastity. But yeah, like you could do a whole series on the bishop's interviews. It's shocking and it's revolting and it has to be stopped.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like grown men shouldn't be asking those questions of children. I think
Right?
I even learned what sex was at the age of 8, and that was only because my cousin got pregnant as a teenager, and so they kind of had to explain to me how that happened. And I was like, whatever. But I just laughed the whole time that you gave me the talk. I was like, oh, ha ha, funny that is that. So I can't even imagine being like put in that seat, having to explain your
It's really intimidating. It's really, really intimidating.
Yeah.
Well, and then what happens if a child has been abused and they
Mhm.
talk about that to the bishop?
Then the bishop usually has the girl repent for being assaulted.
Oh, good God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's the repentance and forgiveness process. If they find out anything happens, they either keep it to themselves or they call Crichton and McConkey, which is a 1-800 line, and they tell
Mhm.
them basically how to not report it.
So, and this might come off again as kind of rude. I promise I try not to.
No, it's
Um,
okay. I believe it's in good faith. You're all good.
He's not Mormon anyway.
Right. Is it similar to kind of how the Church of Scientology does things, of where they're very much in the process? And I know Laura is laughing.
Sorry.
Of like they use it to like cover up, or they do what they
Mhm.
can to cover up it,
Mhm.
because it would just shed a negative light on the image of the church and as the
Yeah.
faith as a whole.
Yeah, pretty much. They focus on forgiveness and not being responsible.
Yeah, that is
Mm.
so messed up.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a fellow, like even if it's a fellow church member that say does this, do they
Mhm.
still, they don't shun the member, they don't do anything really?
No, no. If anything, it's on the girl or the child to forgive.
And from the last time Stephanie was on here, it seems like they, go to great lengths to
Cover up.
hide
Mhm.
the person, all kinds of different things.
Yeah, they'll
Mm.
move them to different wards.
Yeah. So now tell us about the baptismal experience after you talk to the bishop and you do your worthiness, whatever that is. What
Okay.
happens then?
Once the 8-year-old is worthy enough to be baptized, then okay, so it's like it's a couple hours process. You go in the church and you go in like a completely white dress, and then you have your little program. And then during the program, after the many talks and songs, you go to it's almost like it's a built-in font. So it's about 3 feet deep
Mhm.
and it's just built into the floor. So all the kids gather around the front, and the parents stand behind, and then the child is in a fully white jumpsuit, and so is the person baptizing him. And to baptize, you actually have to have the priesthood. I believe it's the Aaronic priesthood that you have to have because, yeah,
And they just recently made a change with that too, didn't they? Because used to, I don't remember the verbiage that they used, but it was like the older members were essentially like the first people that you would report to, and then they've since like switched to a more like younger group, if I understood that correctly.
you kind of choose who baptizes you.
Oh, okay.
So you usually get to pick who you want to baptize you.
Really?
And there's the Aaronic, and then there's the Melchizedek.
Yep, the
That one.
Melchizedek
Okay.
priesthood. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Melchizedek
Bless you with the power of the
and-
Melchizedek priesthood.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody within the priesthood of some sort to baptize you. Can't just be like your dad or like a friend.
No,
Or,
they have to have the priesthood, and they have to be an active member, and they have to have a worthiness interview before the baptism to determine that they're worthy to do the baptism.
Mhm.
it's a whole lot of steps.
So
A
in
whole
the
lot of steps.
in the
Yeah.
Protestant non-denominational it's everybody who's a Christian is part of the priesthood.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I mean, once you become a Christian, you are a part of God's kingdom, and therefore then you are a royal priesthood, sent out to tell everybody about God and Jesus. So it's not that's why a lot of people have such a problem with the Pope. And
Mm.
like for instance, I grew up Baptist, and my preacher was the head of the Southern Baptist Convention. He was the president. And
That must have been rough.
yeah, Reverend Ronnie Floyd.
Hmm.
Yeah, from Springdale, Arkansas.
Where
But
the Duggars were.
yeah, where the
I bet
Duggars.
that
Well,
got interesting.
They
yeah,
lived on that property, correct?
they lived right next door.
Right next
Yeah,
door.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and that property ended up becoming the youth house after they moved out. So I guess the
I
Duggars
thought it was
sold.
condemned initially. Or
Okay,
like,
so
Eventually, it
so
was
with
torn down.
Mormon baptisms, once you go under, like you have to be completely under. Like if a toe pops up or if a hair pops up, you have to rebaptize them. Is it like that in other religions?
No,
no, and I even recall, I mean, they would, and I'm not even particularly religious or anything, but I just remember that you were supposed to get baptized, and that was like something you were supposed to do. But I recall there was one time that there was somebody in like the hospital, and he was about to die, and somebody basically gave him like a sponge bath,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that
Oh,
was like
okay.
that was, their
Yeah.
baptism.
Yeah, they can.
Oh.
You can almost do it with essentially any volume of water. But if you're able to, typically you can do it in the church. You can do it in like a river, a creek.
Mhm.
Heck, you could even do it in a bathtub if you really want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very much of like a personalization thing, and it's also completely it's completely optional. I consider myself Christian. I don't consider myself the best Christian, but like I myself haven't been baptized. So I used to always make the joke when I married a Catholic girl outside of the Catholic Church and I'm not baptized, that if I go into the Catholic Church, I may or may not, spontaneously combust because of that. But yeah, it is actually a completely optional thing and technically you never have to do it throughout the entirety of your life.
I guess it
Interesting.
depends on where you're at, because where they're at, they swear it's non-denominational, but they have very set rules. Like you
Well,
have
no,
to
I
get
mean,
baptized, or else
Mm.
you
no,
eternal flames.
no.
Oh,
So
not with dad. I was just saying when I was growing up.
So, anyways, what we believe is that the Bible says that you are baptized for the forgiveness of your sins and the gift of the Holy Spirit. And so that's our position is you get baptized once you believe. Okay, so we ask you, do you believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God, your personal Lord and Savior? And then that's their confession of faith. And they're supposed to say that out loud, just to say, hey, this is what I believe, a proclamation of faith. And then they dunk you under the water and say, I baptize you in the name of the Father God, of the Son Jesus Christ, for the forgiveness of your sins and the gift of the Holy Spirit. And then you rise up and you are a new person and you have the gift of the Holy Spirit. But I know that in the Mormon church, that's two separate events, baptism and then the gift of the Holy Spirit,
confirmation.
right?
Yeah, then confirmation. Yeah.
Okay, so explain that to us.
So after you're baptized, you go and change and kind of dry your hair a little bit, and then you go back in the room with everyone else, and then you have your confirmation. So the child sits down on a chair, and there's a priesthood holder standing behind you, and they anoint you with oil, and it's usually olive oil that they say a blessing over. So they put it on your head, like usually 2 or 3 drops. It's weird. And then they place their hands on your head, and it has to be done in a certain way, with the placing on the hands, and then they give you the blessing of the Holy
Okay.
Ghost, and so that's when you receive it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you guys don't have like a specific protocol for like anointing people, but I know you guys do it in specific circumstances. It's not necessarily to accept, Jesus or whatever.
I think there is certain protocols for anointing.
Oh, I was talking. Sorry, I was looking at my mom. As far as
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. As far as like her faith, like I think that sometimes they just will randomly, like I think when Dad got like his brain surgery,
Yeah,
you
it's
guys anointed
when
him.
they usually anoint somebody whenever there's a sickness or something
Mhm.
like that. That's a laying on of hands and an anointing, and praying,
Mormons do it for everything. You worried about a
Really?
test? Get a blessing from a priesthood holder. It's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
That would be a lot of running
Did your
to
dog get lost? Get a priesthood blessing. It'll all be okay. You have
See-
cancer? You have cancer, don't worry about the hospital. Get the priesthood blessing, you'll be okay.
See,
Uh.
now to us, it's just, okay, let's pray. Pray. That's all
No,
you do.
you have to
don't
get a man
go
to do it
somebody
for
else.
you. No. You
Yeah.
have to have a worthy man to do it for you.
See, me just
Very
being
specific.
me just being a smart aleck, like if I bring my own olive oil, is that like brownie points? Like it just has to get like blessed and then I can be
Well, you do have to bring your own olive oil. They're
Oh,
not going to buy
it's
it
not
for
even
you. Come
free?
on.
Are
Now.
you serious?
No.
Extra virgin.
Yeah, extra
Oh, it has to be.
virgin for
Virgin.
the
No tainted olive oil.
No
y'all.
sinned olive oil. No sin
That's
in the
right.
olive oil. Okay.
Now, did they do a real olive oil test?
I don't
That's
know.
not the
I
fake
don't know.
stuff. Can't be. It's got to be authentic.
Like,
not
please
the,
don't put cooking oil on my head, weirdo. Like, don't do it. This is already weird enough.
Wait, so if I bring a bottle of Pam, it's wrong. Damn it.
That is the wrong way.
Damn it.
Okay. So
Spray the head down.
just a quick little like off topic thing because you guys were making comments about the olive oil. So I actually listened to this whole video about Dr. Oz the other day and how he's basically like a scammer or whatever. And he was part of the reason why that whole entire like fake olive oil thing like even spread. So there was like a little bit of olive oil that was like fake, but it turns out that like conspiracy or that fact or that statistic was actually spread by California and their olive oil company, and they were like trying to like
Dirty little rumors.
yeah, they were trying to say like
Like gossiping
California
little
oil is
hens. Oh
good.
my gosh.
Yes, and so like it was like a whole thing. I don't know. Anyway, so that was just something I was just
Dang.
the other
That's
day.
like that's worse than the what is it called? Never mind.
But basically, there was a little bit of fake olive oil, in rotation. But for the most part, everything was okay. And it was even, I want to say the New York Post. I could be totally wrong on that. Do not quote me on that. But there was like a specific like organization, or not organization, but a specific news source that said that. And then like 6 months later, after the Dr. Oz thing came out, they're like, oh, they came out with these statistics, but we can't point where these statistics came from. But it came from you. So they were lying about it, and like 6 months later, they were like, "Oh, I don't know where this even came from." And it just anyway, sorry.
Thanks, Dr. Oz.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he's doing so great right now. Anyway,
Okay, Stephanie. So, baptism of the dead. Okay. So you are baptized, then you receive the gift of the Holy Spirit,
Mhm.
and from what I gathered, it sounds almost like all the kids from the church go on a field trip for the first time and start baptizing the dead.
It's kind of like that. Okay, so I was in Salt Lake City when I went as a kid, and you start at age 12.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have to have a worthiness interview before you can go to the temple, where they ask you about your chastity, and when they ask you if you touch yourself and how often you touch yourself and all those invasive questions. Because if you touch yourself, you're not allowed in the temple.
you might give kids ideas. They might not have even known what that
Right?
is, and it's like, oh,
No,
really?
but for real, that's
Yeah.
an issue. Okay.
And, and then my next one would be: does it really matter how often you touch yourself at that point? Like if it's just a sin,
Well-
like it's a sin. Like I don't think it really matters.
All day, every
Wow.
day.
Every day, every hour, it's a goal.
on the hour.
Yeah, so like age 12 is when it starts to get really culty, because the girls go into what's called young women's, and you start with these pledges, and you like, I'm not going to repeat it because it's going to get stuck in my head. Okay. It won't leave for another couple months. So
Yeah.
I say
but
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like when stuff gets really culty. It's also like around 12, that's when you start preparing for marriage too. So
Okay, so this might also be semi off topic, but again, I had to unfortunately explain this term to my mom one day as I was like talking to her about the Mormon faith.
You're not about to talk about soaking, are you?
Absolutely, I have to ask. Like, do they
you want me
consider
to
that?
explain how you do it?
No, I know that part. That
Okay, okay.
it takes a whole lot of extra people, and like I just
You
don't
need a bed
understand.
jumper.
Is
Like,
that real?
What?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it's real.
like
You never heard about soaking?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, Amber.
How's it not?
Oh, Amber.
That is real. Is it real?
You're going to
Like-
be
This
so
conversation
embarrassed
like 2
looking
days
it
ago
up,
with
and I'm going to
somebody
love
at
it.
the job.
Yeah,
but
like
I guess I don't know what. I guess I don't know the mechanics of soaking.
so if I understand, and Steph, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's kind of like they tried to find a loophole around sex
Mhm.
of you still do penetration, which again,
Mhm.
logically,
Just the tip.
scientifically, yeah, just a tip.
Just
And
a tip.
when you do that, you don't actually do the movement. You have a new version of a cuck basically hold the mattress
Are
and
you
shake
freaking
you
kidding me?
to create the friction because you're
So
not
you go
actually
in.
performing in the sexual act. You're just there. You're just the body, but you're being moved. You're not moving yourself. So loophole for the whole sex thing.
Loophole. You did not do it.
I just thought it meant put it in and just leave it there and don't move.
Oh,
No,
let it
no,
marinate for
you're
a little bit.
involving other people. It's really weird. It's really
Oh my
creepy. I mean,
goodness.
And so that is a thing?
huh?
That is a thing. That's like
That
something.
is a thing. That is
For
a thing
real.
that happens at BYU in Utah all the freaking time.
I
all
always
the
assumed it
time.
was a myth.
No,
So
it's real. It's real. And my
makes
advice is
you-
just do it. Just do it.
it's like,
Just
if you're
have sex.
I mean, isn't it worse to involve a third person anyway? It's like
Yeah.
you get the audience. If
Yeah.
you're already going
I
to get that
mean,
far,
It's a
just
threesome
do
at
what you're
that
going to
point.
do.
It's a glorified cuck because they just watch and help move the bed. They don't actually perform in it because that would be sinning.
Oh my
That's
God.
insane. And then for the person that is the glorified cuck, as
just
you
do it. Just do it. It's so much better
like-
if you just do it.
do they get paid off, or are they just there for the experience?
No, you're
They go
just
home
awkward
and-
for the rest of the time you know each other at college.
I guess it depends on your relationship, but no.
And I don't know if you did it, Stephanie. You don't have to share if you did or didn't. Like,
No,
but I
no,
do have
didn't.
to ask, how do those conversations go? Of like, hey man, I'm like really at the edge.
I don't know.
And I need your help.
I don't know.
Like-
I was a child bride, so I was married off before, before I could start soaking.
Well, thank God she avoided soaking via child marriage.
right?
crap.
Right?
That's insane. Oh my goodness. I literally had this conversation with somebody the other day and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's like a myth. And maybe some people have done it, but I doubt it.
No, it's not a myth. And a lot of people do it and they'll admit to doing it.
So, what does the leadership think about? I mean,
Obviously it's not great.
obviously they're not telling them.
okay. I was
Because
just,
their conscience
mean-
is clear because they didn't actually do it. They were just sitting there.
Right. They just
And with
sat
my
there.
dick out.
Laura.
I don't know.
Freaking level, Laura.
I'm just sitting there and it just accidentally
Just rocking out with the
happened.
cock out.
They say, is that what they mean by I was walking down the street and then I just fell inside?
just
of her? Like,
slipped?
I didn't
Yes. Yes.
want to do this. It happened. I tripped
Thank
and
you,
I fell.
Laura, for helping me make everyone in the comments uncomfortable. I love it.
It's my favorite hobby. A weird question, but is purity ring culture, is that a thing?
Not so much in the Mormon church. It's
No?
just expected without a ring.
Okay.
That's more like, I don't know, that's more like Duggars.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a purity ring. You
Come
can
on,
see
we
it's
just do the
noticeably
soaking. You don't do the
absent.
purity rings. Like, come on. Just
I
we
actually
do
started
child
wear-
marriage.
I actually started wearing my purity ring again, maybe like 2020. And I texted Dad, I was like, do you think it's okay for me to wear this again, even though I'm like living with a man? Because it's just pretty. And he's like, that's your own decision, hon. Like, I think I lost it. I left it in Florida on accident, but it was cute.
It was
Yeah,
really cute.
it was the Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus, even though they were getting it on. That's besides the point, though.
That's why she wanted one.
I wanted one. Yeah, which, you know what? Now that, we were talking about baptism earlier at an early age of 8. And we were all, even you, we were all kind of like, at 8, can you really decide that? But I was 5 when y'all let me get baptized.
No,
and I had a good experience. I'm glad. Like, I look back on it fondly, and I love my father, and we have some really cute pictures from it. But a 5-year-old doesn't know shit about what they're
and
deciding.
Neither does an 8-year-old.
We tried, like,
I wanted to be a part of the cool club.
she really, like, she had all the answers. I mean, we sat there and talked to her for the longest time, for months, and she would cry every day when I'd pick her up home from school, because we'd have like a 45-minute drive. And so the whole way there, she would just be crying, I want to get baptized. I even remember stopping in a parking lot and just being like, Alora, you're only 5.
I remember
Because she wants to be like mom.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's just
That's
so we
adorable,
allowed her to do
actually.
it. We allowed her to do it, and I mean, it was her decision.
I don't think what you guys did was wrong or anything like that. I'm
No,
not
we
saying that in
didn't.
like a critical way. You guys didn't push it on me.
No,
or anything.
we did not.
You're like-
Yeah, and it's very much in the Mormon church, like at 8 you get baptized. Like it's everybody does it. So
But then I
it's very
remember
much pushed.
Joy said Charles is adult. So your dad's been on MBR with Joel lately.
Yeah, I love my dad. He's a great guy.
He really is.
We don't
And,
agree on a lot of things, but I love him with my whole heart.
and he just got his so
That was
he-
loud. Oops.
yeah, so he had a brain tumor removed in October, right before Halloween, and everything was going well, and then all of a sudden in April it started getting infected down at the bottom of the surgical scar, and it just kept getting infected and kept getting infected. So they took him in on Thursday and reopened it up and cleaned it out and everything. So now he's got this huge scar on his head again.
Yikes.
So
It never really went away, but
but it's like way worse
no,
now.
I know. It freaked me out. He's like, Alora, can you take a picture of this for me so I can see what it looks like? I'm like, okay, click. It was gnarly, but he's such a trooper, man. But you know what? He will not do anything for days at a time. But the second that he has to do something, or the second he gets surgery, he's like, you know what? I'm going to be the most productive I've been in 15 years. He's like, I'm going to start doing stuff. Oh, I know that my doctor said not to move, but here I am upside down. He texted me yesterday, I think. Yeah. And he's like, can you put the clothes, or can you put my comforter in the dryer? Because it's too much for me right now. And then I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm just going shopping real quick. And as soon as I get back from grocery shopping, I'll come down. So I came home early and I did all this stuff. He's like, oh, I already put it in there. I was like, what? I was like, it's only been like 20 minutes. He's like, yeah, I just didn't want to wait. I was like, okay, you got this. He had to go down the stairs to even do that. Oh my goodness, Dad. I love him.
Well,
Love him.
yesterday also fixed the AC.
Jeez, he's a trooper.
And he was playing with his plants. The day after brain surgery, or like 2 days, it was like the day of Halloween. We were doing our live stream, and you guys can check and figure it out. Just look at the dates on our live streams.
I think
But
Tony
anyway.
was on here with us, wasn't he?
I don't know. Was he dressed up as a shark and like bobbing his head, even though he just got brain surgery the day before?
You may
think
not have
so.
been on there with me.
Just say,
Okay.
no, I think I was on there.
I was dressed up as Fiona.
Yeah. So, anyways, my husband is crazy.
Crazy. Sorry for
Okay,
that
sounds
before.
like a trooper. Jeez, that's a
He
lot
is.
to go through. I'm glad he's doing okay.
I don't even know. He's doing as okay as he can.
He's good.
He's good.
So, Stephanie, okay, let's get back to baptism of the dead.
Sorry.
So you were 12 when you first started doing this, after your confirmation and all that, or whatever that was. And so you described the very first time you did it.
Okay, so I was 12, and in Utah they do early morning baptisms for the dead. So you meet up at the church at 5:30, and you drive in these big vans to the temple, and then you go in and you basically like you change your clothes into these white jumpsuits with white underwear, and then you're just waiting there for your name to be called. And then when it's your turn, you go in this fountain that's surrounded by 12 oxen, and it's supposed to stand for the 12 tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in, and it's about 3 feet deep again. Yeah, about waist deep. And then they have a list of names, and they dunk you for each name. So they'll say, like, in the name of Anne Frank, I baptize you and dunk you. And I know, Laura.
I say all
Yeah.
the research I had done and like the controversy that really came about that. I know one of the biggest ones was like because the publication and the list of basically all of the Holocaust victims, they did it like Anne Frank and them, and then immediately turned around and were like, we're also going to do it for Adolf Hitler, and
Oh my
also
God. I didn't
Yeah.
know
baptized
that part.
him. Yeah, they
Oh my
because
God.
and Steph can correct me if I'm wrong. The idea is they want to give
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
everybody the opportunity to basically accept that into their heart, whether they're living or
Yeah.
past, no
Yeah.
matter how atrocious of a person they were alive.
Yeah. That
Mormons will
actually,
take anyone, living or dead.
that
You
actually
can,
makes me think, and I didn't really do any research other than like the stuff that I've just heard over the years, you know. But so theoretically, so you as a former Mormon, you had to abide by chastity, you had to do Lord knows what just to stay in their good graces and not be like the worst person in the world in their minds. But as Tony said, literally Hitler
literally, Hitler got baptized.
baptized after death. So theoretically, could I just live my life the way that I want to? And then you guys just baptize me when I'm dead, and then it's all good. Like, who cares how I lived?
You would think that, right? Like,
Like,
you would think that.
Is it not that? I'm genuinely asking.
you know, like,
So-
is there for sure one thing that you do in this life? The Mormons are like, absolutely not even we will try to save you.
Gay
I
sex.
don't think so. Yeah, maybe
Oh,
gay
that's-
sex. Actually,
that's the
yes.
line.
Yes, that is the line. That's the line.
Oh, poor
Um,
Lindsey Graham. Evidence
Oh.
ladybug.
Poor guy's still closeted and wherever he's at. Oh.
He was just trying to join his soulmate Mitch McConnell, who is not kicking, I'm telling you.
Okay, so Stephanie, so when you got into that bad baptismal font to baptize people by proxy, did you have a list that you had compiled yourself, or
No.
did they have a list?
They have a list.
Okay, but
They
I
have
thought
lists and lists and lists. People will submit names. So they'll go and do their genealogy, and they'll say, oh, my grandmother's sister wasn't Mormon. Let's baptize her. You know.
okay.
So
So,
just-
but I thought that they had to be related.
They
Well, I think
want it to be, but no, you don't have to be related because obviously someone baptized Hitler.
yeah,
Yeah, how many people?
I think the way that, if I remember, it was explained because they received a lot of, controversy over doing all of these people that are listed on here, was they do the genealogy to reach back, and then basically anybody that you could potentially be tied to as far as your genealogy goes. And I think their theory was for like every 2 generations, so every like 20 years, you can have up to like 1 million or something like relatives or ancestors basically. And if you go back like 40 years, like 4 generations, it's like 400 years, you can have like 10 million or like 1 trillion or something like that. So I guess that's again a loophole that they use to like branch out as the reason to be able to baptize everybody basically.
So my mom did her genealogy and found she was related to Robert E. Lee. Okay. And so she submitted his name. I know, right? Right. So Double whammy there.
I was thinking about that today, and I was like, man, if I was a Mormon, I could baptize Henry VIII.
You could. You really could.
I
I guess sometimes you can take your own names, but usually you don't have your own, because kids don't usually do genealogy. So
No.
unless their parents send them with a list of names, they would just use the ones in the temple that haven't been baptized. So
I also
they-
saw that they go to graveyards and get names just 'cause.
interesting.
Yeah.
Some people might do that. That
'Cause
is interesting.
Because one thing I had heard, so they would take, it's more typically, they said like teenagers and college kids, they'll take
Mhm.
them and they'll have them go to like graveyards, and they basically just take pictures of the gravestones to get the name, to get the date that they were alive, and then the date that the date that they passed. And then that also goes in part of their information collecting. And they have like 3 buildings. I don't remember the location, but they're under like heavy lock and key of basically all of this archival data.
Oh, the Church History Center?
I believe so. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. There's tons and tons and tons of data at the Church History Center.
and then they even partnered with Congress to basically get some of this information, make copies of it, and then send it back. But then they kept the copies for their own list and purposes to use.
Interesting.
So do you think that the Mormons might have like a either run or have a big part in graves.com? So like I'm pretty sure it's called
Probably.
graves.com.
Probably.
Yeah.
You can just
Probably find a grave.
It's find a grave.
find a grave. That's what it is. Google your grandpa or whoever is dead that you love, and they're gonna be on there. I swear to God. Crazy.
That just sounds fun. Google your
Joy
grandpa.
Also, Joy, I feel you on a spiritual level with that spending a lot of time in cemeteries. I haven't been to a cemetery in a while, but like there's something kind of just almost peaceful about it. I remember a couple of years ago, I got kind of like emotional. I was all emo and I was like, I have nobody to spend my birthday with. And you guys were going to like meet up with Fancy on my birthday, funny enough. And I was like, you bitches. Anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so I'm going to do something. And I was like, I'm going to drive to a graveyard and I'm just going to find somebody. I'm going to try to look for somebody with my same birthday. And I'm going to sit there and we're going to have a drink and we're going to celebrate our birthday together. And then like I was in a certain town that's not the town I live in. And I was driving around and I looked up a specific cemetery. And when I got there, it like took me to like an apartment complex. And I was like, oh, did they build on top of a cemetery? I'm like, bad vibes. So I just drove home and I didn't do all that. But I've spent a couple birthdays in the cemetery before.
They say, wasn't that the whole premise behind the Poltergeist movie that terrified me as like a young child? Was that?
Yeah. Ooh, we saw the Poltergeist clown.
They say, but I can't say much because there's a cemetery literally right next to the little housing area that I live in. So I take my dog for a walk through the cemetery all the time. Usually more in the colder.
Did you find any bones?
No, I try not to let her like do any type of like bathroom in the bathroom. I'm like, no, like if you can pee on the road, you can poop on the road. You're not pooping in the actual grass anywhere near the graves. Stay away.
Don't pee on the gravestone. No.
Yeah, just because.
Ingy used to take you walking.
That was one
Oh
time.
my goodness.
No. I'm going to say this real quick because she's probably almost dead, if nothing, because she's old. So whatever. I'm pissed about this still. Okay, so people who watch this show probably already know, but my grandpa, her father, took his own life, okay, when I was like 9 years old. So here was like the house that he took. Here's the house he took his own life in. And then there was like a small apartment complex. And then on the other side was a graveyard, okay? So for years, I could not even drive past the house where he took his own life, or else I'd have like a whole meltdown. Okay. So our children's minister at the church that we used to go to, Mrs. Ingy, 3 years after my grandpa took his own life, and I was still not like even comfortable driving past it at this point. She was watching us while my uncle, her brother, was dying of cancer in the hospital. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at him dying of cancer. The whole situation is just so funny. So Mrs. Ingy decided that, because she decided that she was going to watch us, or she was like nice enough to watch us which thank you for watching us while my uncle was dying, so we didn't have to watch all that stuff go down. But where does she take us while my uncle is dying of cancer? She
The
takes
cemetery?
the graveyard that is right next to the house where my grandpa died in. Okay. And she's like, no, we're just like, and I was like, do you know anybody here? She's like, no, I don't. We just like to, visit the graves and, give them flowers and do stuff. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah.
That was messed up. I'm sorry. I was like 12. Sorry.
Oh.
I was like 6. Sorry.
Gosh.
Okay, so let's get back to baptism
Okay.
for the dead.
My bad.
Okay.
So y'all
So
keep
they
going.
dunk you like 8 to 10 times, and then you're in this like white jumpsuit and you have to walk past the line of people to go back to the changing room and change into your like confirmation clothes. And then you'll go in another room and they'll do the confirmations for each of the baptisms that you did. And then after that, you go for breakfast. And we always went to Einstein Bagels.
Huh?
So like that was the highlight of it.
So it basically
Going to
was a
Einstein
field
Bagels.
trip.
Yeah, it was a field trip. Yeah, absolutely.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah. An early morning field trip.
What did they tell you about this? I mean, do you
That
actually
it's-
believe
it's
that
a
you're
sacred
saving
ordinance. They make you believe that people are waiting on the other side to be baptized so they can accept their Lord and Savior. So they make you feel like you're doing a really good thing for these people because you're giving them the opportunity to become Mormon. And the Mormons are the only true church, duh.
Fair.
So yeah, it's kind of like a guilt thing. Like you have to do it, otherwise they'll never get to heaven.
So, I mean, I know some of it's probably even self-explanatory, especially with like Adolf and Eva Braun. So even the sins that are like, the key part of the Bible, like thou shalt not kill, like all the commandments and everything like that go along with it, and the what is considered the ultimate sin of, suicide, they don't even use that as like a, this is kind of like the ultimate, because again, like at least in Protestant, being a Protestant, Catholicism, I'm sure Amber can attest to this for non-denominational, like if you like our what we've always been taught was basically if you decide to take the forever nap, like you are automatically going down, you're burning for eternity, like there is no exception to being saved, basically.
I think that's
what they
more.
tell you, but then they'll do the baptisms for the dead and say on the other side that you have a chance to accept it.
I think that's more of a Catholic belief than Protestant and
I don't know,
non-denominational.
man. Y'all always told me Papa was in hell.
I only
So
said that
the
because
Mormons-
of I only said that because of the crap that was going on.
The Mormons had this
after.
really weird thing that they did in the 1800s, and actually through about the 1980s. It's called blood atonement. So like the idea was basically you end their life before they can commit more sin. So you're saving them by ending their life.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
Yeah.
so messed
so
up.
true religious, like not legalized, but religiously supported murder, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the most recent incidents of it was actually, I think, the LeBaron family. There's a really cool documentary about it. Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Valo. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually where I kind of
And
got
I was-
introduced to everything.
I was really wondering if she was trying to do a blood atonement with them. Like, what was she doing exactly? I
Isn't
think
there
it's
like
possible.
isn't there like was like a vengeance atonement too, or
A what?
something? A vengeance pact or something that they used to do as well?
Well, they would let's see here. Porter Rockwell was a mercenary for the church, and basically he went after people who left the church and spoke ill of it, and he would kill them.
Oh,
Is
Wow.
that kind of what you're thinking?
maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Porter Rockwell is really interesting. So actually in the next town over from where I live, there's called Bluffdale. So they have a statue of Porter Rockwell there. And I'm like, do these people actually like know what Porter Rockwell did?
Oh, so I do have another question because again, just seeing it from TikTok of like interviews with students from BYU and other Mormons and
Those are
whatnot.
funny.
I know. It's one of those. It's like probably not the greatest source, but it's also like the most natural, unfiltered source of information you can potentially get. What is the Mormons' obsession with like John Smith, and where do they like put him
Joseph
in the
Smith?
higher? Or yes, Joseph Smith. I don't know why I thought John was like God, that's the most
Pocahontas?
basic name. Like, yeah, right. Pocahontas movie. Like it seems like honestly, if you had to put it in like a tiered hierarchy, that's like God and Jesus are like neck and neck, and then like Joseph
Jesus
Smith
and
is like
Joseph Smith.
like right
Yeah.
underneath there. I'm like,
He's the
because
founder of the
Joseph
religion.
Smith are the same.
like the way they make it seem, because they'll ask him just crazy questions of like, would you rather murder a puppy or talk to Joseph Smith? And they're like, or something. It was like something crazy. They're like,
Oh
well,
no, would you rather murder a puppy or drink caffeine? Like something dumb like that.
yeah,
He'd
and
be
they're like,
I'll
oh, I'll
murder
murder the puppy. And I'm
Are you
like,
Like, you
serious?
freaking idiot.
yeah, yeah,
It makes you want to smack a kid.
yes, absolutely. And they're college
Um,
kids, so they're
mhm.
of legal age to
At
get smacked.
BYU. They're asking people at BYU these really weird questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they
But it,
give the most horrifying answers.
I'm
and
gonna
it,
have to look at that.
You're
but
gonna
it
have
does,
to look at it. Yeah.
but it does just seem like they hold Joseph Smith in such a high regard because of him
Mhm.
founding. Like, I just wanted to know, is there like, where does he, hierarchically stand, like in the Mormon Church?
God, Jesus, Joseph Smith, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prophet that is
Mhm.
also a scam artist. And
So, okay,
funnily-
there's over 400 offshoots from the Mormon Church, and it seems like all of them believe in Joseph Smith.
wow.
Funnily enough, I believe that Joseph Smith was associated with the Christian Church or Stone Campbell movement in the early days, and they even were like, "Hey, dude, you got to leave."
Probably. Probably.
I think that happened with him and with who's the guy that did the People's Temple? Jones.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Yeah, he was part
That
of
was
their Christian church denomination, whatever.
that was my first thought. I was like, man, Jim Jones, all he needed to do was look at Joseph Smith's like template, I guess. And
Well, Warren
there.
Jeffs followed Joseph Smith's template like exactly to a T.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's not much difference between Joseph Smith and Warren Jeffs. He followed, like, he studied Joseph Smith. He followed him and like he used his playbook.
I watched part of that documentary. I didn't watch the whole thing that just came out. And I think it was the guy that took over for Warren Jeffs.
Sam.
Yeah.
He didn't take over for Warren Jeffs. Sam
What
Bateman.
one was that?
He just wanted
Pretended.
he pretended, and he convinced maybe, like a few men, and those men gave him their daughters and wives, and it's really freaking creepy.
He convinced them that Warren Jeffs had died in prison.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he convinced a couple people, but everybody knew that. Like, I heard that Sam was a weirdo, like from his cousins. Like, they're like, he was just weird. He was kind of an outcast, and nobody expected him to do anything like that because they didn't expect anyone to follow him.
Yeah, he does not seem like somebody to follow.
Not the brightest bulb in the bunch.
No, and weren't some of his wives like as young as 9?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Mhm.
9, 10, and 11. Yeah.
And again, I didn't
They were
finish.
Moroni Johnson's kids. This
I didn't-
man handed over his daughters.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because I saw at least one of the people, because I watched like the end of it, because you started watching it, and then I just watched part of what you were already watching. But
Mhm.
I remember there was like a guy that ended up having to go to jail for at least a little bit because he
Yeah.
had participated and all of that stuff and like let his daughter have it, and he realized quote unquote realize the error of his way. So it's like, how do
Yeah,
you
after he was being arrested, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Like, maybe realize when someone asks you to hand over your 9-year-old that they're a freaking pedophile and don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. That's
When
insane.
someone says, I want to marry your 9-year-old, that should give you a fucking clue that it's not wholesome,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't
And
even understand where somebody's head could be to even like that to even be a reality.
yeah,
I don't get it either. And I don't want to understand. I
Yeah.
don't want to be in their heads, if that
Mm-mm.
makes sense.
No, because it's disgusting. I mean, they're
Yeah.
absolutely
I don't get it, and I'm fine
vile.
with not getting it.
Yeah. And they should just be thrown under the sea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't disagree with that. You know, mad props to that lady. I forgot her name again because I didn't watch the whole thing, but the lady who actually did that whole basically sting operation. Christine, yes. I remember she was
Mhm.
also in a Sister Wives episode. It was like a panel of a bunch of different people who had left polygamy, and all of the sister wives were trying to vehemently defend their stance on polygamy. And I remember Christine Brown, I guess Wooly now, she started just sobbing. She's like, I don't want to face my aunt. I don't want to face you people who don't agree with my lifestyle. But look at it all now. All of them left. All of them left and realized, wow, polygamy kind of sucks.
I can't watch that show. That
I
guy drives me nuts.
And I
People who justify polygamy and try to say that it's, a great way to live, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
It's
My
not
dad
good for anyone.
No, my dad gets so annoyed. I remember the other day he was like taking a nap on the couch. He's like, "Oh, you can switch the channel, don't worry." And so I put on Sister Wives. He's like, "I'm gonna go to sleep in my room. I can't even listen to that shit trying to fall asleep." He's like, "That dude just pisses me off so bad." Which, again, one of my little side tangents that I always go on. So Cody Brown was on this TV show called Special Forces last year. Do you know what I'm talking about, Steph?
Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it because
Okay.
Cody Brown. Like, why would I want to watch Cody Brown? He's a doofus. Like,
Well, I
Right.
hear he kind of got bullied by Brianna Chicken Fry, the chick that was dating Zach Brown. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Not Zach Brown being a part of the Brown family. Anyway, doesn't matter regardless.
I have no idea.
So anyway, I wanted to watch that, but they just announced I've never even seen the show, by the way. I just heard like highlights of Cody being on there. But so this year they just announced the cast, and the new cast has Colin Gosselin, the guy that the kid.
Oh yeah.
okay.
George Santos.
Why? Why George?
Santos.
What did he lie about to get on the show?
They just wanted the drama. And Ruby Rose.
What?
Yes, all these people. So I have to watch this season because apparently, Kate Gosselin was in Special Forces, but then she hurt herself on like the first episode, and she went home. And so like Colin doing it as like an FU to his mom,
She's
who
such
he's
a
already writing
bitch.
a book about. So
Kate Gosselin is such a bitch. I always thought she was. I'd be watching it and I'd be like, she treats him like shit. Like, could she be any more condescending to that man? Like,
She's
I
the
just
one.
felt so bad for him the whole time.
I think she's the one that started. Can I speak to the manager haircut?
No, for real. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
So can we classify that as its own religion because it's all the universal like Karen Bob cut? They all have like did she just like start that? The Karens were like, oh my god, that's the one. That's the haircut we need to just know.
That's it. Leader.
That's it.
We'll follow your every word. Yes, we want to speak to the manager. You were
Good to see you,
upset,
millennial.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
no.
some, Karens I know that don't rock the bob, but that really should.
Yeah, it's so uncanny how many people have that haircut that genuinely act like that, and it's like I don't know if it's just the vibe of that whole look or what. I don't know.
Do you remember that person?
No, I think you need to be a certain type of person to wear that haircut. And I think
Probably.
I would like to speak to your manager right now.
So here's the
You
other
go
question.
into a-
Like if they go to say like the salon or whoever to get their hair done, do they like I just need something new? You know what? I have the perfect haircut for you that I think would just fit you perfectly. What do you think of this? Oh, I love it. Yep, I knew it.
I
Like
think
that.
what it is, you're normally supposed to show like a reference pic, like this is what I kind of want to look like if we can achieve it. And so
Mhm.
anybody that shows anything within that wheelhouse, they have to automatically already be a bitch. It's like,
No, right,
yeah, I
right.
want this.
Do you want to look like, a chicken? Like it's that spiky and I don't know.
Especially
It's a
if they
look,
have the
man.
chunky highlights.
I was
Oh,
just about to
Yes.
say
the
that.
chunky highlights. It's
The
over.
bangs with the
Oh, yeah.
spikes in the back.
Oh, yep.
Thank God I never had a haircut like that. I did have the
You had some
Rachel.
ugly haircuts.
There was one haircut that it was really bad, and I
The
just
Rachel. Oh, like Rachel from Friends.
yeah.
Oh,
But
Everybody's had to have that haircut.
I had
when
right
you
after.
went to Jamaica,
I know that's what I was just about to say.
and you were with Rachel, who can go herself.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I went right after my son was born. I cut my hair really short, and it was bad. And then I went to Jamaica, and the little girls wanted to braid my hair, and so I had all these little braids just sticking up everywhere.
It was so bad. I love you. You're beautiful, but that was so bad.
It was really bad.
Okay, we're all good now.
It was really bad.
Oh God, 2005. Yeah.
Yeah, 2005.
Ooh,
Oh, that was the time for that haircut.
time for that haircut.
Well, and in my defense, I just had my son, and I was just like over it because my hair is so thick and heavy that it was just like I had a whole 10 pounds on my head.
You do have thick hair. So
I'm sure Stephanie can.
You look like you
I
relate.
can relate.
yeah.
I can relate.
And I just got my hair cut and thinned out last week, and it just feels so much more light. And it's like, oh, thank God.
I work outside, so I'm kind of dying right now with my hair.
Okay, well, is there anything else that we missed on baptizing the dead? There's like a lot we could get into, but I mean, it's pretty much.
I think like that's the general idea of it.
I appreciate that, Joy.
What were you
I'm
saying?
trying hard.
I'm trying so hard.
Yeah.
I
I think we got the majority of the baptisms for the dead. It's like they have the kids do that, and then the adults do the sealings for the dead.
Okay, what is that?
I've never done it before, but apparently you can seal couples for all time and eternity after they've died.
Oh,
that
that's the
super
Lori Vallow
sucks.
thing. That's where I heard it from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So-
and that gets super weird, super weird. Okay, like you should have someone on here that's been through the endowment session because
Okay.
I never did my endowment session. I wasn't comfortable going to the temple, and I had heard weird things happen, and I didn't want to wear the weird underwear. So like I just refused to go in because I would like to pick my own clothing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you have to.
It was weird, and I don't want to dress that way. Okay.
So I've never heard of the sealing of the dead. So what do they like? I mean, I've heard so many weird things that people do. Like I've heard when people get cremated, they want like the ashes mixed in with the ink, and they get it like tattooed on them. Like I've heard that. I've heard like people do like painting, like you got to tell me what the
Interesting.
sealing of the dead. So did they do like just portraits of them? Or are they like just hanging up there? Like
No, no. You go in, it's kind of like the baptism. So you go in and you act as proxy for another couple.
okay.
So yeah, you would go get sealed, and they do the little ceremony over and
What's
over
the
again.
point of it? I mean, I don't understand.
Is it kind of how like polygamists are supposed to be together forever in the afterlife?
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Like I wonder if they do like polygamist marriages after you die because you can be sealed to more than one woman in the church. A man can. So that means like if you get divorced or you die, the man can just go and get sealed to another woman. Okay. But the woman has to have that sealing broken usually.
But that doesn't mean they're married, correct? It just
It
means
does
that.
mean they're married.
Oh, it does.
Okay, because I was going to say posthumously, if they're sealing them,
It means
they
they're
are
married.
They're
Yeah,
not
it means
like
they're married, and the woman's gonna be
forever.
their eternal baby maker.
Right.
Because Mormon heaven for women is you get to spit out a baby one after another after another. You get to have spirit children for eternity. Doesn't that sound amazing? Like,
No,
don't
it
you want to be
doesn't.
pregnant forever in eternity? Because I
Absolutely
don't.
not.
There's
Right?
so many bad jokes I could make. That
Make them all.
so many bad jokes.
Knocked up for eternity sounds
Well-
horrifying.
And I think that was one of the things that I never really realized about the Mormon faith is that when you see all of these missionaries out here going door to door or in TJ Maxx,
I feel personally targeted, but you finish your sentence first.
it's very apparent that the people doing that really don't know anything about their faith other than what they've been told. They haven't really looked into it, because if you look into it, then you're bad, because you're
Yeah.
questioning the church. And now when I see people like that, I'm gonna just feel really bad for them, just because it's like, dang, you've given up your whole life to follow this thing that you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's not just frowned upon to research your own religion. They call it looking into anti-Mormon material, and sometimes they go as far as disfellowshipping or excommunicating you for researching your own church.
Wow.
Mhm.
And see, I mean, the Bible talks about how when Paul would go places, he went to Berea, and he was telling them everything that they needed to learn and everything, but they went and checked it against the scriptures that they already had. So the Bible tells us, be like a Berean and go check it out. Don't just believe whatever you're told.
Yeah, you would think that that would be a much better way to handle things, but no. In the Mormon church, they don't want you to look into anything. They don't even want you to look into they don't want you to look deeply into church history, especially because then you're going to find some really shady stuff. Really shady stuff, and you are probably going to leave.
But it
Maybe you
seems
can
like
marry Peter Steele when he dies. I don't know. Gotta check it out.
I don't even know who Peter Steele is. Who is that?
Who's that?
It sounds familiar. I don't know who, but I do also wonder for the guys. Yeah, how many of them are like, yeah, I'm marrying Marilyn Monroe. So there's just like a train of Mormon
Right?
dudes trying to go after her.
I would like to be sealed to Marilyn Monroe.
My little tangent yet again, because there's always a tangent. Marilyn Monroe, rest in peace, because she genuinely cannot just be in peace where she's at, because she literally had a man, I don't remember his name, decide, who was married, by the way, when he passed away. He's above her in the mausoleum, and he got buried face down so that he could say he's face down on top of Marilyn Monroe for all of eternity. And then next to her is Hugh Hefner,
Gross.
who exploited
Oh.
her images,
Mhm.
where the Playboy Marilyn Monroe stuff, that wasn't even something that she took for Playboy. That was something she did when she was still Norma Jean, and she was just trying to make money in like a rough spot. And so Hugh Hefner bought that up, and he used it for the first issue of Playboy. So she literally, in death, doesn't even have any peace. And the Kennedys, allegedly, the Kennedys. That's all I
It
have.
makes me so sad. Like, she was just fetishized.
Yeah, and still is.
She's
to
just
this
a
day.
beautiful woman, and
Mhm.
she was just trying to live her life. And
Mhm.
I don't think that she was prepped for the stuff that she had to go through, and not to mention the traumatic childhood that she had that even led her to taking some of the. Well, it's not even that she even did anything wrong. She did like one nude photo shoot when she was poor and had no money. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
how many people have probably done that? And
A lot.
that's nothing wrong. I don't have an issue with that. And poor thing, it's just all these years later. And it's like, if she did take her life and all these people still fetishizing her is insane. And then if she was murdered and a bunch of people fetishizing her is insane. So
Mhm.
anyway, I don't know. I
It's
feel
all
very
sad.
strongly. feel very strongly for Marilyn Monroe. There's a few different celebrities that I feel strongly about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really care about celebrities, so
Well, it's not even that I'm like, oh, whatever. But it's just I feel bad for them in certain things. Like I feel bad for
Can't believe-
her.
I can't
Yeah.
believe they baptized Gandhi. That's so ridiculous.
that is
What about Gandhi?
They baptized him.
Church baptized Gandhi.
And he was a
So
weirdo, dude.
disrespectful.
He was
Super
kind of a
weird.
weirdo though, low-key.
He
I
was.
think a lot of people are.
I think almost every person that was on the list was kind of a weirdo.
yeah.
Or not
Probably.
everyone, not Anne Frank. And maybe some other people, I can't tell.
Somebody said that Sigmund Freud's family owns a Netflix.
What?
I know that
I didn't
they
know
own quite a few things.
Which Sigmund Freud was a bit of a weirdo.
He was a
too.
weirdo. He was.
He
a
was really weird.
He was a weirdo.
Yeah.
And I just found this out like 2 days ago. And we were talking about this, but Anne Frank was apparently like kind of queer. Like she wasn't necessarily like a lesbian, but
She was curious.
But some of the stuff that she wrote, like in a lot of the books that we had to read in high school and stuff, they actually changed it to a man, but she was talking about like a woman in a female form and like the way that she was like attracted to women and tried to sleep with one of her friends at one point and just it didn't work out. And it's like, wow, just the crazy random stuff that we erase from history for like really no apparent reason.
That is interesting.
or on a weirdo rant.
I'm sorry, Joy. My bad.
No, I mean, yeah.
I say there's so many weird facts I know about Hitler. Just diving into like the World War II history that I learned. It's just, like apparently the British at one point tried to basically give him chocolate bars full of estrogen to try to feminize him in the hopes of getting him to end the war.
What?
And he only
Yeah.
had one ball, right?
I think so.
I heard he was hopped up on all kinds of drugs. Like,
He
Oh,
was,
yeah.
yeah. It was Mengele actually hated Hitler's personal doctor because Mengele actually having finished medical school and going through this, he's like, "You're literally killing him." He's like, "No, shut up." And Hitler trusted this man with his absolute life, and so Mengele was kind of like told just shut up and color in Auschwitz, and so he never tried to basically quit, and the other like leadership would never try to stop him either. Also, fun fact, he was a vegan, and he is actually the first implementation of there having to be rules for euthanization in slaughterhouses in Germany back during that time because there was no rules. He was a huge animal rights activist.
you bet he
I
was
know.
a human rights activist.
No, he's like, I love me some animals, but man, them people, I can't do
these people have
man.
to go.
Can't do the
Man.
people.
But some of the
Christ.
worst people, I've seen pictures of Hitler with dogs. I've seen
Mhm,
watch a video of Putin with a damn dog.
mhm.
Oh my goodness. He like
I don't
have
think I've ever seen
videos
that.
of him like kissing a puppy on the head, like holding it close, kissing it on the head, like crazy stuff. Like I think somebody else was like abusing the puppy and then he just came and he little kid like it's so crazy. It's like people that hate humans love animals. Love
That
them.
is true.
I love
Yeah.
animals, but I don't hate humans.
There are quite a few people who would
not
rather
saying
deal
everyone.
with the animal population of the world than the human population of the world.
There's
I
somebody that-
mean, on some days I don't blame them, but
some days it's just me and my dog against the world, okay? But that
Right?
doesn't mean that I wish death and destruction upon the human race.
Yeah. I mean, it's so weird to know that Hitler did that, but yet basically set up slaughterhouses for humans. I mean,
that is weird.
Yeah,
that's so wild.
yeah, he did that. Like it was weird. Again, because you look at his background and you look at everything he did as far as like all the jobs that he created were essentially just war jobs, but doing his best to eliminate the poverty, doing his best to make sure everybody had a living. Now, albeit it was arming up for war. But yeah, he hated drinking. So because his father, who married his niece, which is where Hitler came out of, he was a product of incest. Yeah, which is also a potential
You might be
explanation.
angry too.
Yeah, might also be his father was very abusive, but his father was also a drunk, so he hated alcohol. So he didn't do alcohol. He didn't want to eat animals, which is why he was a vegan. And then he implemented all the like they have to be euthanized before going to the slaughterhouse rules, at least in Germany and whatnot.
Wow.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
History is so fascinating
No.
because people are painted with just one brush stroke, as far as like who they are or what they did. And yes, Hitler definitely deserves that brush stroke.
Yes.
But at the same time, finding out different facets of people's personalities and things like that. It's just,
I think we should study it for sure.
yeah, no. And I think that's why I love history so much, because you can learn so much about the present from studying the history,
Mhm.
Speaking of Hitler and brushstrokes, if he would have just been accepted into art school, we wouldn't be having
Right.
this conversation.
Right.
Hey, this could have
Right.
all been avoided. All been avoided if they're like, you know
No.
what? No, you can do it, man.
I was with someone the other day and he was making some point, and I don't remember what the grand point was, but he's like, and it's like, oh, and Hitler, if maybe if he was good at painting, things would be different. I was like, no, have you ever actually seen one of Hitler's paintings? I feel like he's pretty good.
Yeah, it
And so
actually
Yeah, he
was.
was decent.
He was good. I can see how maybe he wasn't like, it didn't look inspired, perhaps.
Mhm.
But I was like, I don't know, man. You might want to take that back. He actually was not
And-
like a bad artist. Like,
Yeah.
Not
And
everybody's art sells.
but
Yeah. Well, and at the time too, he was also he was real big into copying postcards. So he would take portraits that were already made and he would copy them, and then he would resell them to people, so that way he could continue to at least make money. This is, of course, initially before he gets introduced to the Nazi Party and whatnot. But yeah, that was some of his specialties, was just basically copying some work that had already been done and then basically reselling it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, to get back on topic a little bit, I did not realize that the Mormon church was different from the Mormon temple. So
Yeah.
I did not realize that until recently, that the temple was not a place that just everybody in the Mormon church went to every Sunday morning to worship.
Oh no, it's special. You have to be worthy to go in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
You have to
so,
pay your 10%.
oh really? So it's based on tithing and all of
You
that
have to be a
stuff?
full tithe payer. You have to follow all the rules. You have to follow the word of wisdom. Either that or you lie to the bishop and tell him that you're following all the rules.
Mhm.
Some people do that. I never did.
And why is it separate? Are they going on the model of like in the Old Testament where they had the temple and then the
Yeah.
house church basically, or whatever?
So the temple is where they do all the rituals. They do a lot of Masonic rituals, and they don't want people seeing the rituals that they do. So you have to be screened basically before you go to the temple. And then you used to do an oath, okay? So it used to be that you would make an oath to spill your guts, basically. What is it called? Seppuku? The Japanese,
Oh
where
yeah,
they
yeah, seppuku.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
they commit suicide if they wrong the
Mhm.
like if they bring dishonor or whatever.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's basically like it was until like 1992 that you would do the motions, that you would slit your throat and empty your bowels if you were to reveal the secrets of the temple.
Mhm.
Holy crap.
And
what
I know,
about
Yeah.
owls?
So-
And that was till like 1992 that they were doing the motion with it too. So now they just say it and they don't do the motions because the motions creeped a lot of people out.
Mhm.
So I know one of the other things with the temples too, like not anybody can go into the temple. Like you have to, like you said, you have to be an active member of the church. I think there is an oath and whatnot that you have to take. You even have to have like
You have to have a temple recommend.
that, and I think you also have to have like a little ID card too, don't you?
Yeah,
that
that's the
basically
temple recommend.
confirms- And that if you don't, and you try to get in, they'll either deny you or they do have the option, like they can reach out to basically like I don't know what the equivalent to like your local priest is, but whoever is like over your church in your specific area, like they have to call to them
Your
and basically
specific bishop.
yeah, and confirm
Yeah.
who you are and that you actually are who you say you are, and that you're a part of the church, and then they will actually allow you into the temple as
I
far as
don't
like being
I
able
don't
to
think
see.
you can get into the temples without your temple recommend. And
Really?
it's like an ID card. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
And they scan it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, it's gotten to that point where, you know, you have an ID card that's got a scan and everything. And so to me, the fact that it resembles so much the Masonic traditions and everything like that, it basically is just a large secret society.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
kind of along with that and kind of off topic, my so a lot of the men in my family, all this, at least the older men, all decided to join the Masons. Like they were all a part of it. Like my grandfather, my uncles. The only two that haven't are my brother and I. And of course, they always offered and wanted us to. Well, my aunt's brother passed away a couple years ago, and we went to the funeral. And the girl I was with at the time was like, "You need to join the Masons." No.
Oh
Why
my
why
God.
like, why do I want to join the Masons? She's like, "Well, I wanna know all the secrets, and girls can't be members." I was like, "That's a you problem. I'm not joining them just because you wanna know the secret." Keep in mind, this is in the middle of the funeral, so, like, there are 4 active
Sweet.
Masons up there, and so, apparently, I threw my voice well enough that she was like, "You need to join." I was like, "I'm not joining a freaking cult." And it was said loud enough and thrown enough that his brother believe that his the Ted guy's ex-wife is the one who said it and was like livid. So my uncle comes over to my mom's house and is like livid, like, I can't believe she said that. And my mom is sitting there trying not to bust out laughing. 'Cause she's like, if only you knew that was your nephew that said that.
You know, whenever my grandparents pass, I at least asked to be the person to get all of my great grandparents' Masonic stuff. So somewhere in our
Like the
garage,
ring and the robes and stuff.
at least the robe, whatever they have, that's what I asked for. I asked for that and for some sex pamphlets that have Disney characters in them.
What?
Okay.
You can't just drop that.
They're literally
No.
from like the 30s,
Seriously,
40s.
I'll like find a picture and I'll send some to you, Steph, if that's okay. But it's like
Yeah,
it's cartoons. But seriously, it's like I think Disney animators went like rogue and
It was
did these.
Disney, definitely.
It's absolutely insane. Like it is like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I mean, I'll send you some
That
too,
stuff's
Tony. Don't worry.
real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
I
It
thought that was a
wasn't in
myth.
someone's basement.
No, it's we found a bunch of booklets and they were definitely from like the 30s and 40s.
I
So
will send them to you. And my grandma's like, "You
Gosh.
want them?" I was like, "Yeah, anything like sex related from my great grandparents, I absolutely want." In my
You're
room,
gonna think you're possessed or something.
no, not at all. My grandma's a pervert too, but I have a.
I didn't say that.
I'm just kidding. She's not as she used to be, but anyway, in my room, I actually had a bust that was made by my grandma, or my great grandma. I'm sorry, and it's like a woman's figure, and she has like something like a ribbon covering like the nether regions or whatever, and on the bottom it says "to Chuck," which was my great grandpa or whatever. So anyway, they were fun. Apparently, there was other stuff that she found that she said she had to throw out immediately. So I can. Only
I want to
imagine.
know what that
Amber's
was.
like,
I have an idea.
Amber's like, I thought we left this all behind when I joined the church.
Yeah. See, my first thought is I'm just picturing, oh, Minnie, oh.
No,
Like that's my first thought.
it was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde, Donald
Okay.
Duck and his nephews for some freaking
Oh
reason.
no.
Yeah. So Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Ooh.
Anyway, I'll find some pictures and I'll send things to y'all within reason.
Within reason. You know,
Huey, Dewey, and Louie getting gooey. That's
Oh,
no.
Disney title.
I don't think any of us would be accepted in the Mormon church now.
Well,
No, I don't think so
not.
either.
Huh?
Well-
Oh yeah, I'm definitely denying.
So Aunt Marie, when Dad first got sick and we found out about the tumor, she put Dad on the prayer list for the temple. And I was like, what are you doing now? You've got
She's
me
Mormon?
like, no, she's not. She
The
just
Mormon
wanted extra.
prayer list?
Yeah,
for the
so
temple?
I guess you can submit prayers to the temple or something.
She
I don't
put
know.
prayers from anywhere she could get it, but I get it. You know, who is to say what the one way to heaven is? You know, just have everybody pray and something might.
I was just like, Aunt Marie, you gave him my name and my husband's name. What are you doing?
They're never gonna leave you alone now. Ever. Ever. unless you tell them that you're lesbian, and then they'll leave you alone. Okay.
Oh,
Amber, just when they call, just be like, I'm a lesbian. I'm sorry.
I'll have my husband pretend to be a girl.
You know,
I did say I'm a gold star lesbian. I should be okay.
hey now.
I might have used that a couple times, and it does work. Okay.
I just kind of want like a religious like battle royal. Like, can I put some Jehovah's Witnesses in with some like Mormons and just see like who comes out on top as like the superior of the two?
They're very close, actually. Jehovah's
really?
Witness and Mormons, very, very close. Very
Really?
What's the
close.
key
I
difference?
think Jehovah's Witnesses, like they get you with the shunning, man. They do the
Mm.
shunning better than the Mormons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Jehovah's Witness. If you leave the church, like a parent, say you, Amber, were to leave the church, your husband would keep Alora and your son from you and you can't talk to each other anymore because you've left the faith and you're now a bad person. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mhm.
Laura would have already left the faith before Amber even got the chance.
I know. But yeah, like you have to shun them. And they have like all these kids cartoons about shunning and shunning your family and
Yeah,
how
like
it's righteous.
Scientology.
It's really
Or the
sad.
Amish.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Amish are that way too. Like,
Yeah.
especially once you decide you get like your year of freedom, and then when you come back, if you decide not to, your family's like, nope, no more.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty sizable
Wild.
Amish /
Mennonite.
Mennonite community around us.
Yeah.
They've
Mhm.
kind of modernized for the times a lot more. They're all driving cars. And also, so I got kind of annoyed. I told this story the other day. So I was like already like 40 minutes over my shift and I just wanted to go home. I work with plants. It's hot outside. It is what it is. This was like last year. So anyway, I'm about to clock out. And as I'm clocking out without my, my uniform or vest on or whatever, anything, this Amish lady comes up to me and she's like, hey, how do you take care of this plant? I was like, well, I can really only tell you what's on the back of the tag. She's like, no, you need to tell me how to take care of this plant. I was like, okay. So I Googled it and I gave her some bullet points or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, can you print that out? And I was like, well, I can't really connect my phone to the printers here. They really only connect to the computers that we have at my job. And she's like, well, can you email it to me?
Did she use email?
Yeah. I was like, I mean, I don't really have my work email on my phone. She's like, can you email it to me? And
So they can
I
email, but they can't look stuff up on Google?
literally, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I wouldn't typically give somebody my email, but I don't think this Amish woman's going to do anything with it. And I just want to get out of here because she's just looking at me like this. And I'm like, okay, you're not taking any of my excuses to get out of this conversation. So, okay. So I literally I asked for her email and I'm just thinking, yeah, exactly. It's like, why can't you just Google it if you can email it? Now I assume, and this is just an assumption, who freaking knows what's actually going on, but I was like, well, maybe they have like a community computer and they can email stuff for like business and that sort of thing. So I figured that was probably the thing, but it's like, I mean, I don't know, go to the local Amish store that has a nursery, ask them what's going on. How do you
Right?
do this plant? I don't know.
I wonder if it's like the FLDS with computers. Like some families have them, but
Really?
it's only for specific stuff, and they're
Really?
not allowed to just like Google stuff.
Really?
Hmm.
Well, if you Google stuff, it might have some crazy stuff that pops up. So
It might tell you that you're in a cult and that you need help. I mean, they don't want you to find out that,
I wonder if they
the
use
situation is not
covenant
that
eyes.
great.
I'm just so fascinated that there's so many people involved in this religion and most of them don't even know what's really going on.
Yeah, they don't.
Mm-mm.
They don't. Because most of them are born into it
Mm-hmm.
and they're just raised with what is taught in church and the church buildings. And unless they have a family member that's like really into church history, they'll probably never even research the church and find out that Joseph Smith was a polygamist or that he had child brides or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It to me,
and they
it's-
don't believe it when you tell them.
Yeah, like to me, it's kind of weird. And I mean, I get it. If you grow up that way, I guess never know the difference. But like I was always the I was
No,
always
you
the kid.
question.
They say I question everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do we do what we do? Like, what is this? Like, well, what about this? And especially like, I mean, I went to public school, so it's probably also, a terrible thing. But like, but it's
Sure.
like, I'm exposed to like different people. It's like, okay, like, what do you think about this? Well, this is how I think, or this is how
Yeah.
my parents teach me how to think. And it's like,
So,
a
okay,
little bit
for
clash.
me, my first shelf breaking moment was when I was 8 and I was living in Pennsylvania, and you have to learn the articles of faith to get baptized. So I was learning all the articles of faith. And one of them is man shall be punished for his own sins and not for Adam's transgressions. But this was like 1992, I want to say.
Mhm.
And so I noticed there weren't any Black people in my church, but I was one of 3 white kids in my class. So I was surrounded by all these Black people, but none of them were in my church. And then I learned about the curse of Cain, and it just didn't make sense to me why man would be punished for their own sins and not for Adam's transgressions. But why would they hold the curse of Cain? Like that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
So, do they still hold that policy?
Yeah, they still have those same beliefs. They just don't talk about it.
They're not a Black man's still not allowed to be like a hold priesthood, correct? Or
No,
did that
you can hold priesthood now since like the 80s.
the 80s? Okay.
Hmm.
But it's probably
just-
still not a very large Black or otherwise population in those churches.
They are targeting Africa right now. I call it
Really?
targeting recruitment.
I
And it
knew-
actually really makes me upset.
I can imagine. Do you know what parts of Africa or just
Ghana and
Ghana?
the really poor parts of Africa. If you go on TikTok, sometimes you can see these videos of American, like American missionaries, and they're at these houses like with dirt floors, and they don't have running water. And I imagine them asking them to get baptized and then pay tithing. And I just find it absurd to ask someone who doesn't have running water to pay tithing.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
I have a very different look on missionaries now as an adult than I did as a child. And that's of any faith or sect or religion or anything. A lot of
Yeah,
it's very self-serving, or people that want to colonization, absolutely, a white savior complex.
Mhm.
A lot of times people have good intentions that are like the individuals that are signing up to like do missionary work and stuff like that, but they kind of just play into a bigger system. And a lot of people I feel like are kind of beyond even trying to explain to them how they're kind of a part of the system. Somebody that I'm very close to did a lot of work in Africa for several years and lived there for several years. And he was telling me that sometimes missionaries of one denomination would come in and they would build like a school or a church or whatever the need was there. And then they would tear it down and they would send somebody else from another church or sect to come in and rebuild in that exact same
How
spot.
is that helping anyone?
It's not.
It's just to try, and a lot of people, and again, not everybody, but a lot of people that do these missionary trips, I think they just want to travel the world and see things because they're not really plugged into their own community, helping out with the homeless population or the veterans or whatever the
We
need
have Flint, Michigan here. Why do you need to go somewhere else?
is.
Please bring the
Absolutely.
children of Flint, Michigan clean water. 'cause they need
No,
it still.
and that's one of the things that my husband and I have tried to do is support homegrown missionaries, people in that community who then go out and tell that same community about God instead of bringing a
I feel
whole
like there's
family.
more of a need to like provide food or shelter or all this stuff than just like, let me just tell you about, I mean, God exists, show God through your actions if that's what you believe. But
Well, yeah, and the local missionaries are the people that can actually show, change.
But there's some,
and-
I'm not saying this is what you're supporting, but there's a lot of places and people that will be like, okay, well, we're only going to help you if you'll listen to our spiel about God.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like none
Yeah.
of this other stuff
Only if you get
matters.
baptized.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I can't confirm if this is true or not, but I saw a TikTok video and this lady was talking about how apparently Turning Point USA might own some women's shelters or help out with some women's shelters or something of that effect. And she said before, the whole Charlie Kirk thing happened, completely unrelated to that whole mess. But apparently she had reached out to Turning Point USA, not knowing who they were, to see if they could help her coworker get into a shelter because she was in a domestic violence situation. And so it turned out that her coworker or friend or whatever didn't speak very good English. And so they're like, well, she's not going to be able to participate in Bible study if she doesn't know English. So we require that you go to this Bible study in order for you to get any help from us. So they completely turned her away and she was stuck in that domestic situation for a while. And, this isn't me just putting the blame on this one particular situation or, agency, because who knows what really happened. But I've heard stories about things like that plenty of times where it's like you have to adhere to these certain rules or else you're not getting helped. We want to spread our agenda and push our beliefs on you. And that's the only way we're going to give you food or water or shelter. And I'm not saying that's necessarily what you're supporting, but it's like that's what I struggle with.
Yeah. And it's probably
that's not
easier
charity.
Yeah, and it's probably easier to do that with people, say, in Africa, who it becomes a true necessity towards survival. Whereas here, it's like, okay, well, realistically, there are other options. Like, it may not be the easiest path as far as like, well, if I can't get it here in the city, if I walk, or if I'm able to, get enough funds to go to another city or another town, I might have a better stroke of luck. Whereas there, it's like you might have to cross a whole entire country, depending on where you're at and what the situation is there, that may even be like war torn of being able to get that assistance. So it's like, yeah, I guess they would probably look at it as they're more complicit in following said rules and guidelines than anything.
Joy
of what?
Joy had the crush on Officer Tatum.
It's part of what?
Turning Point USA.
I haven't seen him.
I have no clue, and I have no.
I don't know.
I used to like Officer Tatum. I think
anyone involved in that organization can kick rocks.
I think he's gotten a little.
I love you, Laura.
I don't like
freaking love
all
you.
the race talk all the time, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of those people talk about race and try to pit each race against each other, and I have gotten to the point where I just can't, hang with that anymore. But I do like them. So anyways, and so it reminds me of Rice Christians. Have you guys ever heard of that? So Rice Christians are basically people who will say that they are a Christian just so they can get a bowl of rice or whatever.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And and my husband and I have always been against that kind of missions work. I mean, that's just not missions work. That's just
It's not charity. It's coercion.
No. And I truly believe that as of now, people need to start staying in their own community and helping the people around their life and world, because we can complain all day about what happens in Washington. Oh. But if we don't change things in our own community, then, we're just spinning our wheels, in my opinion.
Check under your pillow real quick, Tony.
No, this is the good one. This is Braun. He's my my 21-pound former street kitty.
He is fat.
He's a thick boy.
Oats got fat recently.
Yeah, look at this chunky monkey. You can't really tell from the picture, I'm sure, but
he got fat.
Oats is like, I'm home. I'm putting on some weight now. Never running away again.
Anything is fat compared to what he was.
I don't know if this helps like give an idea. Like I'm 6'3" and about 190 pounds.
That is a big cat.
That's how big he is.
That's a big kitty.
Baby. You'd think that'd be the one that was underneath your pillows and stuff.
No, that's Peach. That's my Torty. No, my tuxedo boy here, he just likes to bully everybody for his food.
Also, off topic, but on topic. Joy, I looked up the Officer Tatum person, and I want to commend you at least for your like wide, diverse. You go from Tony; those are two different.
Tony, Zia, and Officer
all on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
completely
So,
different.
No, I mean like I've been there. I feel you. You know.
Okay, well, is there anything else that you would like us to know about baptizing the dead or the Mormon practice of all these secret culty things before we go?
There's some really good creators out there, like Alyssa Grenfield, and
Yes.
she has been through the temple and she talks about it a lot, and she'll actually show you the temple garments, and she'll show you like some of the rituals that go on in the temple. It's
Mhm.
really interesting. She knows way more about it than I do.
Yeah,
She's great.
I've been watching some of her videos. I actually subscribed to her yesterday, and the fact that she was showing like, you gotta hold a hand
Yes.
and then put your elbow on somebody's shoulder, and it's like, what? I mean, that is a cult. That's like,
Oh my gosh, Amber, when you get married in the temple, so part of the ceremony is anointing your loins. In the 90s, it used to be that you wore like a sheet over the top of you, and they touched your bare skin right in your bikini area next to your loins.
The priest
Yeah, the dude
with oil or just
with oil,
that's so weird.
so like they like got on your
right?
pants and they like drizzled
Yeah.
him, or he had oil on his fingers.
Like you're wearing a sheet thing that's open on both sides and like nothing underneath, and he's like touching your
Oh, hell no.
bikini area. See, that's why I
So-
didn't want to go through. I'm like, no, there's some weird freaking stuff going on, and it's weird underwear.
So he was Diddy before Diddy became cool.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm hearing. Okay.
Olive
Uh-huh.
oil, baby oil.
I have a picture of Diddy on the baby oil that I gave to my friend for
Yeah.
his baby.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't know that, Stephanie. That's crazy.
Yeah,
They
that
had some really, really creepy, just weird rituals. Just
Yeah,
weird
that's
rituals.
There is
Oh.
no way I would ever be a part of something like that.
well, you say that until you're raised in a certain religion, or you believe something, and sometimes it's hard to get out of that.
Maybe, but I'm the type of person that's always asking questions, and I'll be like, "Why?"
Well,
Maybe it
Well-
took you a while to be so aware of your, the Christian problems. Some of them. You went on mission trips and you supported a lot of people and did a lot of stuff.
yeah. I am learning definitely that there is a problem within the Christian community as well. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't.
You're more aware of the specifics of it.
Yeah.
You knew about certain things, like
Mhm.
some of the, abuse and some
Mhm.
of the weird people, and just you having your own experiences and that experiences that as well. Like
I mean, hello, Mary Duggar was my Sunday school teacher for 6 years, so
well, and Steph, you might be able to attest to this just from a personal experience, but like I'm assuming for a lot of these girls, if there ever is that question or that reservation of like, this is really weird that this dude's trying to diddy me right now, even though it's
You
for
just push
for religion.
You're pushed to accept it.
And well, even if like you are, how much of that also included the fact of you mentioned how a lot of times you'll be shunned from the church, or you could even be shunned from family members. Like, for you, did you ever feel that sense of like, I might be completely alone because I'm going to potentially
Yeah.
shut off everybody in my family, all the
I
friends that
did.
you're raised with and whatnot. So I mean, that's a hard step, and that's a hard thing for someone to
Yeah.
ever want to be like, I know
lost-
this is going to happen.
I lost my full support system when I left the church. I lost my friends that I thought were really good friends. I lost my family. My sister would no longer let me visit my nieces and nephews because I wasn't Mormon anymore. Like I did. I lost my family. I lost my friends. I lost my community, everything. So that's why people stay, and that's why they do the weird stuff, and that's why they don't question it too deeply. Because if they do, then their shop's going to break, and then they're going to lose everything.
yeah, their whole worldview comes crashing down.
Mhm. And it's really painful when you learn that everything that you've been taught your entire life is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine.
Deconstruction on that level is like totally different than just deconstructing regular Christianity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's so much more. I mean,
It's so
for the most
legalistic.
part, Christianity is just like, you know, a personal relationship. You know, it's not, you don't.
In your branch of
Yeah,
Christianity.
in my
but
branches of Christianity, it's a personal relationship. You don't involve
Mhm.
all these other people. It's just you and God. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah, it's very involved. Very, very involved.
mhm.
Wow.
It's sad, but the next time I have somebody come to my door, I'm actually going to talk to them about this, you know?
Do it. Do it.
I will.
Ask them
And I've
questions.
also-
Ask them if they know about the church history stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I've always avoided it because I didn't want to,
No, make those little boys question things. They're 18 and 19 years old. They're still children. They need to learn to question.
Yeah,
Um,
no, and I'm definitely going to do that now. But for the longest time, even when we were in TJ Maxx the other day and I was approached.
I don't remember if that was a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness, but I feel personally victimized because I have like you can't really tell even that much on the screen, but I have like 3 nose piercings and I have tattoos and I don't always wear a bra. And people always come up to me. Like we were at TJ Maxx.
Save it.
Girls, they come up. And then something that really like, it actually kind of like hurt me a little bit. So when we were in Orlando, I love to meet new people. I don't mind going to like a bar or a club or doing something on my own and just meeting people. But when I was in Orlando at a Universal, nobody was like that. Nobody really wanted to talk to me. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kind of did my own thing. So these 3 girls came up and they asked me to take a picture of them. And they asked, started talking to me and we're trying to engage. It was like, oh, are these people that I'm going to be, friends with for the night and we can go like drink and do something silly? Anyway, they started being like, oh, have you ever heard of like the Church of Latter-day Saints? Or maybe it was, it was the LDS.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even remember which one it was, but it was like, oh. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, my dad's a preacher. And they always have a follow-up question. And they're like, oh, well, so what kind of scripture really means something to you? And I was like, my dad's a preacher. That has nothing to do with me or whatever. I was just this conversation. I didn't say all that. But I was like, damn, it really like kind of sunk my spirit. I was like, man, you profiled me as a sinner.
Mhm.
And I was like, I thought we were just going to like
vibe.
buddies.
I thought we were going to be sinners together, man.
I know. We're going to go have fun.
Yeah.
It is weird because like again, it's one of the few times I'll say like as a dude, it's really nice because I have RBF, and again, being 6'3", like I don't get approached a whole lot as far as religious questions. I have no idea why. I feel like I'm a very open book when it comes to that. But like I watched Mom go through it with like Southern Baptists because they would they would shit on her all the time, like you'll never catch me wearing pants. And Mom used to work on the sheriff's department, so she had uniform pants. It's like she can't wear a skirt for love of all things holy, but it's like I'm just watching it from the outside as a guy, and I'm like, y'all really piss me off. Like, just have a conversation with me. Just talk to me. Just let me do it. Let me have the conversation.
Yeah, no, it's so sad how religious communities treat the lesser than, or and in religious communities, the women are usually considered lesser than.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because, the whole point of Jesus's message, and I'm hoping and assuming that that's what they actually care about, but I don't think so, is that to love one another, just love one another. And it's nothing like that. And it's just so sad and disappointing.
Love one another until you're 2 men or 2 women that are romantically in love. And then in which case, fire and brimstone.
Yeah, well,
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know that Jesus even said anything about that.
Jesus did not say anything about that. Lots of other people that could have had their own agenda said stuff. And then also on top of that, I don't remember what it was, but one of the big verses it's used against homosexuality in the Bible, like later on in that like chapter or something, it has like some other, I heard about this the other day, but it was like some crazy outlandish like rule that nobody follows or talks about. So it's like, why does that one thing matter, but this other thing doesn't matter? I think God just says, love each other and leave the judging up to him. It ain't none of your damn business.
Yeah, Leviticus. It is in Leviticus.
Leviticus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
I
do my
think-
own research. I actually have a book upstairs that I've not been reading because I'm a lazy bitch and I'm useless. But it's like about
Don't
like
say that.
it's about like queer it's about like Christianity's relationship with like homosexuality and how they've like made them like a huge enemy when it was really just like a little footnote, if even that, in the whole grand scheme of things. And I don't know. I need to finish reading it.
Well, the fact that people are making homosexuality worse than pedophilia just blows my mind.
And the fact that I'm even saying the word homosexuality, I hate that. But
it's just
yeah,
it blows my
you're
mind.
totally right though. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like, as Steph will totally attest to, how many different predatory relationships were totally covered up and all that sort of thing. But the second that you're out and proud about the person that you are, it is a problem.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know.
They'll cover up for child predators, but they will kick out the LGBTQ people.
Yeah, no.
And that
All
just
I
doesn't
know
make sense to me.
is, yeah, all I know is Jesus said it'd be better for somebody to tie a millstone around their neck and throw them in the sea than to hurt a little child. So,
And there's
And
a
we
lot of
gotta have.
evidence.
Then churches need to stop letting the predators back in the building. Like once they've
Yes.
offended, they don't get to come back in that building.
No.
yeah,
Maybe
no,
they can have their own churches if they must. Like give them their own.
yeah, no. Forgiveness is God's.
Yeah, that's
to do.
that's that decision, not
Yeah.
personal.
And anybody who is hurting a child or just anybody in general should never be in fellowship with other people. So,
And it's even thought that one of the translations, it says man should not lay with man. It initially said man should not lay with boy, little boy.
yeah, I don't know
So-
about all that, but at the end of the day, just the fact that people are dismissing pedophilia, but then going straight to that type of sin, and making it much bigger than hurting children.
And pedos barely get any time. Josh Duggar, he got 12 years.
Right?
And
Yeah.
he had like prior instances, they just weren't properly reported. And because, it involved minors, it was a complicated situation.
Mhm.
Jared Fogle gets out in, I think, 2030 or 2032.
Yep,
Um,
Unfortunately, that's here in my state.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
he's in your state. I will tell you about this later. I have an idea. We need to talk about it again. We talked about it before. But anyway, yeah, no, it's like absolutely insane. Like the amount of time that people get for some of this stuff. And then, God forbid that you do drugs or something, which drugs aren't great. I'm not, advocating for them, but you should not get more time for that than.
And
It's
I agree.
It's
say the
funny. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The other bad part is, so even if they do get like a longer sentence, they're typically very, very protected. Not
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
and not even just like being segregated, but like one instance that mom had when she was working in the jail as a deputy. She had this guy, because again, most inmates do not deal with other pedophiles. Like pedophiles and pedophiles will stay together, but if you're a non-pedophile and you are, that's an absolute no. This guy throws his mattress out, throws all of this guy's stuff out. Mom's like, what in the world are you doing? He's like, get him out of my cell. Don't want him, but wouldn't say why he wanted him out of his cell. So mom's like, I'm gonna leave, and in 10 minutes I want this cleaned back up. So cleans it up.
They're a protected status in prison.
Correct. And for her, she come back again, and he had thrown everything out, and they of course had to break it up. And he's like, if you put him back in here, I'm going to kill him. And of course she's like, well, why are you wanting to kill him? Like, what did he do? And apparently he had sexually assaulted a baby, an actual infant. And for mom, even though she's all for inmate justice, she's like, once I heard that they were going to kill him, I had to take him and put him in protective custody, because if she didn't and something happened, she would also be gain charges and also be put in jail for essentially being an accomplice for
Mhm.
knowing that a murder was going to take place and not doing what she could to prevent it. And for her, she's like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had you two to come home to, my two boys, she goes, I probably would have let him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just
Right.
dealt and
There
just dealt with
really
it.
isn't prison justice for them.
No,
Mhm.
Like
it's
No.
very,
their
very
short prison
rare.
sentences is it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then, like, for instance, at least from what I've heard, because who knows what's really true, but, like, Jared Fogle apparently is kind of like almost like a king of the pedos and, like, his own little yeah, that's what I'm saying, we need to
Oh.
anyway. Yeah, apparently, like, he has a lot of close friends there, and because he's, famous and whatnot, people kind of do his bidding, and with that whole
Gross,
case, a
man.
lot of people don't know that that had to do with, like it wasn't just not that this diminishes it, but it wasn't just like images or videos. It was him actively doing things, starting a fraud charity to put himself in the presence of other children.
Yeah.
The person that ran that ran that charity, him and his wife were doing things to his stepdaughters, recording them. It involved animals. I mean, this stuff like
Ooh.
went crazy,
Mhm.
crazy. And again, 2032. I think the other guy has more time, but I'm sure he'll still be out and living one of these days, just doing his own thing.
Oh.
Don't accept them back in the church. That's all I got to say.
I totally.
No, I mean, yeah.
You guys are pretty good about not letting things like that go on.
Oh, no, if my husband and I catch wind of anything like that, we're immediately in leadership's.
But I remember something happened to me when I was a kid, and it was with other kids, so it wasn't like something that happened like directly or whatever.
It was different,
And
yeah.
you guys were super accommodating and tried to, help out. And so did the preacher of that particular church.
Mhm.
But the youth minister, or no, it wasn't youth minister, but it was like the children's minister, who ended up having his own sex scandal a few years later.
Mhm.
He put me down. He's like, oh, I was trying to warn kids about things that these other kids were doing. And, oh, if you hang out with them, this might happen or whatever. And I got in trouble. I was the person who got in trouble and stuff like that. And they just allowed a lot of BS to go on, even more than I've heard since I've gotten older. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but we definitely,
y'all protected me.
Yeah, we definitely let people know what was going on. And we're the type of people that if we ever get any hint of somebody hurting a child in any way, shape, or form, or even being weird to a child, you need to get out the door because it ain't happening.
That's good. There's a lady on TikTok that's calling all the churches and she's pretending to be the wife of a child abuser. And all these churches are saying, "Oh, you're so welcome. Don't even worry about telling anyone. Just come on in. Just come on in,
Seriously?
Yes. I'll send you some of the videos. She's got a ton of them. Like she's
Really?
calling a whole bunch of churches and
It's
they're all more than willing and happy to take a registered SO who has victims and let them just come to church.
Oh, wow. Is it not the same lady who's asked about baby formula? Did you see those
It's the
videos?
same lady.
Oh,
Lady,
okay.
And a lot of Muslim temples were accommodating. I think there was another religion that was accommodating, and then pretty much all of the Christians and Mormons and all that stuff were just like, nope, sorry, you were tithing.
I told the secretary of our church, I said, if you ever get a call like that, you call me immediately and I will do whatever needs to be done. And she's like, okay, I will.
Absolutely.
Because, and I would always do that, but I knew that was happening. And so I just wanted her to be aware, hey, this might be happening. I will definitely foot the bill for anything, well, within reason, and
Yeah, if somebody needs diapers or formula.
oh yeah,
I gotcha.
definitely. That's what we're here for, is to help
You
our
would
fellow
think, but
man.
most churches aren't. Most churches are businesses. And they
Yeah.
operate as such.
They say they
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they say the best way to make money is start a religion.
Yes. Kris Jenner.
I'll let you know when I
yeah,
start
that
my own
whole
cult.
thing.
I'm kidding.
So you've got that. You've got what, Jediism? Like they, like they literally just targeted the whole Star Wars thing. I
Don't
know.
talk shit about Pastafarianism.
I say the fly. Hey, I just want to know what it feels like to be touched by the flying noodly appendage. Like that's what I want to experience.
Do you want to be touched with a wet noodle?
I have
wet
The
spaghetti
noodly
noodle?
appendage. We don't know if it's an actual noodle or not. It's just wet and it's noodly.
I have a t-shirt that has a picture of It's like, the
Adam and
Adam touching
God.
God, but it's the flying spaghetti monster, and it says touched by his noodly appendage. I have the book. I have all kinds of stuff. I'm actually doing a deep dive on it right now. I just haven't finished putting it together, but when I do, it'll be on a different channel. But trust me, that is like a thing. I actually was going to get ordained in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's only $50. Thought about it. I just haven't done it yet because I don't know. I'm going to do it for the video.
Do it, and then you could do weddings.
Yeah, you can do weddings.
I could. That's what I'm saying. Well, I don't really have friends that would ask me to do weddings.
And then you can
you can find people who would want you to do your wedding.
and then you can legally have a colander on your head when you go and get your license photo. Because it was a religious
That's
headgear.
why she's doing it.
When I first started doing this deep dive, I was supposed to renew my driver's license, and I had thought about it. Trust me, this is like a whole thing. You don't even understand. You don't even understand how deep it goes with me. But yeah,
It's going to be
I've
interesting.
listened to that book like 8 times.
Okay, I'm
And the guy who wrote it lives in Kansas City, or at least he did. He
Oh,
was out of
really?
Kansas City. Yeah, because the whole thing was made because in Kansas, I think it's Kansas City, Kansas. I don't think it's Kansas City, Missouri. But anyway, in Kansas, they were like trying to do something where they were supposed to make like teaching creationism as a science in science class. And so, yeah, they were saying like, oh, I think it was like in 2005 or 2006. And, they were just trying to push to, make creationism equal to, evolution or whatever kind of, science-based teachings they're talking or teaching or whatever. So anyway, so, the wording of the bill was like, oh, well, we just have to provide equal time to, both of the theories. And so this guy, he was like, well, if you have to provide equal time to that theory and that theory, you should also provide equal time for the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And so he just completely came up with it just as a way to spite that whole system. It's a whole thing. I really need to finish my deep dive because it's so cool.
They did similar with the Church of Satan, which is
yeah.
hilarious because that specific Church of Satan doesn't believe that Satan exists. And it's
Most
just-
don't.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah,
that down in
most don't.
Tennessee?
I'm not sure where it was,
No.
but they wanted a Baphomet statue, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Because I think I remember seeing something. It was like down
I
in
rem-
Tennessee, they were like a huge a part of it. They were like, no, they're like, you got to teach about us too. Like we're just as
Yeah.
equally important. I'm like, oh, you're not wrong. Like that
Right?
is also a key
Freedom
part.
of religion.
I mean, if we're going to include everything,
No,
Mhm.
seriously. I need to.
my allergies
I think
are
I
messed
need.
up.
Oh, me too. I think I need to reach out to the guy that wrote that. I forgot his name. I knew it at one point, but I think I need to reach out to him. Although a huge controversial thing that's at the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, a huge part of that religion per se is about little people, but he uses the M word. And
Oh.
I mean, it was 2005, so it's one of those things. Anyway, but I found via Instagram reel this micro wrestling league
Yes.
Oh,
I've seen that.
that were selling these M word passes. And so I'm not going to say the word M, not anyway, M.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the word, but I bought it as like a bit. And I also donated extra to their micro wrestling league. I think that was down in Tennessee.
So,
That's hilarious.
But anyway, I have
and
an
they're
M
Hey,
pass.
little people need to wrestle too.
they do.
They gotta
So
have fun.
So I did find out, and I don't think it's all of them, but there is a specific one that if you pay, I think if you pay them like $200, you can be a guest referee in one of the micro wrestling matches. And I was
Really?
like, I would absolutely do that wholeheartedly just to be like, yes, I was a referee for micro wrestling. Like, that would be
Okay, we're gonna
awesome.
maybe we should all do that.
Misdemeanor knows. Oh, well, we should all be AI viewers stream boot. Ugh.
Oh yeah, we get
Anyway.
that.
In
Mop,
Gatlinburg.
yeah.
We
In
should
Texas?
no
Tennessee.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I have a ticket for their show. I got a free ticket with it too, but I mean, obviously, I didn't get to go. But I'll find it and tell you exactly where it was. But yeah, no, they seem cool as hell. I gave the extra donation too, just for whatever. It was just to raise
Awesome.
money for it. I've never been to a micro wrestling show, but I absolutely would. They had a micro wrestling show in town somewhat recently, and they also had a micro strip club thing going on. It was a pop-up event. I thought that would have been a hoot.
Sure.
I say I've never been to a full size one. Much
I know,
half
me
size one,
neither.
I guess.
First time for everything. The only time
Yeah.
I ever went to one, it was a horrible experience.
I'd rather watch.
I almost got recruited.
This is going to probably sound weird, but I'd rather watch women strip than men strip because
100%.
I'd just be so embarrassed to watch a man do that in front of me. I'd be like laughing the whole
100%.
time.
Say I will say
kinda funny.
as a dude, like the most unsexy thing that has ever been created, no matter what your religion is a wiener. Like there's nothing you can make sexy about this little veiny throbbing meat stick that you may or may not have. Like there's nothing
Oh my
sexy
God.
about that. So yeah, whenever I'm like, no, there's nothing that
You
no.
know,
You embarrassed Laura.
no, I'm not
That's
married.
a
Shoot, I could tell you all about veiny throat.
Okay, let's go.
no. Please
On
don't.
that
Please
note,
don't, because you'll embarrass me. Okay.
on that note, I guess we're venturing into Crazy Town. So thank you, Steph, for being on here with us and talking about this. I know we kind of jumped around and went on rabbit trails. But I do thank you for being able to come on here and just educate us on.
Thanks for having me. I hope it was interesting at least.
Oh, I think it was.
Absolutely. I do have a final thought on that, and I'm sure it's something we can all agree with. There's just something so disrespectful to a person's religion or their lack of, to be like, you know what? I don't care if you were Jewish or Muslim or Christian. Now you're Mormon. So I think that's for a
baptize
lot of-
you.
Yeah. It's like, just respect whatever they chose. They're wherever they're at now or nowhere, depending on what you believe. So
Yep.
If someone comes and baptizes me after I die, I will haunt them for eternity, and it won't be the good haunting. Okay?
No,
I'll
I've
scare the
heard.
fuck out of you.
I've heard
Sorry.
several people say that.
I'm sorry, Amber.
I'm
No.
gonna baptize you in Pastafarianism, and you're going to swim around in pasta sauce for the rest of eternity.
Hey, if you do, I want the good olive oil. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of the bad one. I want good olive oil.
I'll make sure
And
you
that
get
fake
touched by-
RFK shit.
I'll make sure Tony gets touched by someone's noodly appendage.
Okay, well, on that note, thank you, Steph, and thank you, Tony. And
Thank
thank you
you.
to everybody who came in here and hung out with us. And I hope that everybody has a very blessed evening and that you go out and do something good to change the world for the better. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Stephanie and Tony.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that never leaves you behind. Download our Roku or mobile app today.